Chapter 2, The Refining Fire, Part 1. The wilderness was supposed to be freedom. No screaming, no beatings, no locked doors, no monsters wearing human faces. Yet as Ben and Kevin traveled deeper into the forest, they discovered that escaping physical danger did not mean escaping danger itself. The wounds inflicted by evil men were visible. The wounds inflicted by darkness were not. Unseen forces watched them from beyond the veil of the physical world. The devil saw two broken boys filled with anger, grief, and hatred. To him, they were fertile ground for corruption. God saw something different. He saw future warriors. And so began the refining fire. Not a battle of fists or blades. A battle of the heart. A battle for the soul. Test 1. Greed. The brothers had not eaten properly in days. Their stomachs ached constantly. Every step through the forest felt heavier than the last. Then, one afternoon, Kevin spotted movement in the undergrowth. A rabbit, he whispered. Instantly, both brothers sprang into action. The chase was frantic. The animal darted through bushes and over fallen logs while the boys pursued it with desperate determination. Hunger drove them forward with more force than reason ever could. At last, the rabbit stumbled into a patch of thick roots. Ben lunged first. His hands closed around the animal. For a moment, both brothers stared at their prize. Food, life, survival. Then the whispers came, not spoken aloud, spoken into their minds. You caught it. You deserve it. Why share? He's only slowing you down. Take it for yourself. The voices were subtle at first. Then they grew louder, more convincing, more persuasive. Soon the rabbit was forgotten. The brothers began arguing. An argument became shouting. Shouting became pushing. Pushing became punches. Within seconds they were rolling through the dirt, kicking, scratching, and striking each other with all the fury that years of suffering had stored inside them. The rabbit escaped unnoticed. Neither boy cared. This was no longer about food. It was about pride, anger, possession, hatred. Ben eventually gained the upper hand. Older and stronger, he pinned Kevin to the ground. His chest heaved with exhaustion. His vision blurred with rage. Nearby lay a large stone. Slowly, he reached for it. Kevin stared up at him. For one terrifying moment, neither brother recognized the other. All they saw was an enemy. Then another voice broke through the darkness. Quiet, gentle, yet stronger than all the others. You didn't come this far to destroy each other. Ben froze. The stone stopped midair. Images flooded their minds. The nights they had protected each other. The beatings they had survived together. The promises they had made. The tears they had shared. You fight for each other, not against each other. The rage evaporated as quickly as it had come. The brothers looked at one another. Then they began to cry, not because they were hungry, not because they were afraid, but because they had almost become the very thing they hated. For rabbit, a single rabbit. They sat together beneath the trees until sunset, ashamed of how close they had come to destroying the only family they had left. The first test had ended, and though neither realized it, they had passed. Barely. Test 2, pride. Weeks became months. The brothers learned to survive. The forest became their home. They gathered berries, caught rabbits, hunted squirrels, trapped snakes. Occasionally, fortune smiled upon them, and they brought down larger game. Every meal was earned. Every day was a battle. Over time, Kevin developed a talent. He was the better hunter. Smaller and quicker than Ben, he could move through the forest almost silently. Animals rarely noticed his approach until it was too late. At first, Ben was proud of him. Then Kevin began believing his own reputation. The more successful he became, the larger his share of the food grew. The larger his share became, the more arrogant he grew. Eventually, he stopped treating Ben as an equal. "You slow everything down," Kevin snapped one evening. Ben looked up from the fire. "What?" "You heard me." Kevin tossed a rabbit carcass onto the ground. "I do most of the hunting." Ben remained silent. Kevin continued, "You're too slow." He pointed toward the dark woods. "I don't need you anymore." The words stung more than either of them realized. Behind Kevin's growing confidence, unseen influences fanned the flames. Pride had entered his heart, and pride always demands a price. A few days later, Kevin decided to hunt alone. He wanted to prove he no longer needed his brother. Deep within the forest, he spotted a deer grazing near a clearing. His pulse quickened. This would be his greatest catch yet. Carefully, he stalked forward. Every movement was calculated, every step deliberate. He avoided dry leaves, stepped over branches, stayed downwind. The deer never noticed him. Kevin smiled. Perfect. Then he heard a growl. His blood turned cold. The sound came from directly behind him. Slowly, he turned. A massive grizzly bear stood less than 20 feet away. The creature looked like a force of nature given flesh. Muscle, claws, fur, raw power. The bear roared, then charged. Kevin barely had time to react. The impact hurled him through the air like a rag doll. Pain exploded through his shoulder as he slammed into a tree. Dazed but alive, he scrambled to his feet just as the bear attacked again. Desperation took over. As the beast lunged, Kevin drove his hunting knife into its eye. The bear howled in agony, but instead of retreating, it became enraged. A massive paw swung through the air. Kevin never saw it coming. The claws tore across the left side of his face. The world spun. Blood poured into his vision. His arm hung uselessly at his side. One eye saw darkness. The other barely remained open. For the first time in his life, Kevin truly believed he was going to die. Then he heard a familiar voice. A scream. Not of fear, of defiance. Ben. The older brother burst from the forest like a charging bull. The bear turned toward the new threat. Ben never slowed. The beast rose onto its hind legs, towering above them. A living mountain of muscle and fury. Most men would have run. Ben ran straight at it. The bear lunged. Ben lunged back. At the last possible moment, he drove his crude stone blade upward with every ounce of strength in his body. The sharpened rock plunged into the bear's chest. Still Ben pushed deeper, and deeper, and deeper. The beast's own momentum carried it onto the weapon. The bear collapsed. The forest fell silent. For several seconds neither brother moved. Then Ben rushed to Kevin's side. Kevin's eye was ruined. His shoulder shattered. His pride broken. Yet he was alive. Because the brother he claimed not to need had risked everything to save him. As the days passed, Kevin recovered as best he could. His injuries healed. His eye never did. The scar would remain with him forever. A permanent reminder of the lesson he had learned. Strength without humility leads to destruction. No one survives alone. Not in the wilderness. Not in war. Not in life. And though the brothers did not yet understand it, every hardship they endured was preparing them for a greater battle ahead. The suffering of their past, the trials of the wilderness, the tests of greed and pride, all of it was shaping them into something new. The road before them would still be filled with pain. It would still demand sacrifice. But step by step, the fire was refining them, and the men they were becoming would one day shake the kingdom of darkness itself.